Yo YouTube, welcome back to another video, and as you can see, this is the team setup. Pretty much it's the same as trailers. We are replacing Kid for our Alucard though, because having the bleed across the map allows Uma to do a good amount of damage, plus he does have a better wounded than Naruto's wounded, and is better than Slumber Amp, so the extra 5% is helping a lot. So this is the team setup. I am running Marksman Alucard, Naruto, Monarch Madara, Monarch Uma, Monarch Ichigo, and Marksman Astolfo. So let me save the team to a certain slot, and then we can see. Let me save it over here. So as you can see, these are the familiars. So for our familiars wise, it's this Vanguard familiar, this burb right here, this burb right here, this burb right here, this burb right here, and this foo right here. Memorias wise, as you can see, it's Contagious Enthusiast Walk, Deadeye Naruto, Deadeye Madara, Deadeye Enthusiast Walk, Divinity Ichigo, and Range Boost with Fortune. So that's pretty much it for the team setup. Let's just get into the actual run, and good luck with your on runs. Okay. So pretty much another pretty boring tournament, I'd say. Things don't really get difficult until the end when you're fighting the wave 40 to 50 boss, even the wave like past the wave 50 boss. I don't really get to the end and I don't really kill the boss, but you'll see that the boss is very hard to deal with. Traitless, I was able to deal with him, but in traits it's so frustrating because the enemies are just way stronger. And I don't really have a secondary DPS. In the traitless, I had a Kid as an extra DPS, but here I don't. And I do have what's his name? Alucard instead for the extra support. I was looking at the options and I don't even know who I'd bring. I don't have Kratos, so I can't bring Kratos. And since it is energy draining, I would need ideally a Spark unit. And I don't want to bring Minotaur because I don't think Minotaur's that good of an option. And yeah, there's not much I can bring. Like, who even is there's a Spark option? It's literally just Kid, Kaido, and Minotaur. And Kaido isn't really that good, in my opinion. I mean, especially for tournaments, I don't see him getting much usage. So not much I could have done, so I just brought Alucard for the extra support. And yeah, you will see after you get past wave 4, it's the exact same as trailer, so it's just purely just being AFK, you know. You just do things so slow and you're fine. I think this strat can be improved upon. You can probably get up to like 3,900 kills, even with the boss killing you off. If you manage things better, of course. But yeah, if you can somehow kill this boss off, then props to you. You easily can get yourself like 4.2k, 4.3k. As long as you kill that boss off. But yeah, one thing I want to make sure is that you guys keep doing your Uma stats. You just don't want to forget that. It's the one thing that you can't forget. And for majority of this beginning part, I am going to be muted because things are pretty self-explanatory, especially if you watch the trailers video. And yeah, things do flow the same way in terms of what I'm doing. So I'll leave this part. I'll be on mute for a bit while I make the thumbnail. Might as well just do the thumbnail now. Okay, I've got the thumbnail made, so it really only took like a few minutes. And yeah, as you can see, things are very easy. You're just utilizing the Madara and Naruto ninjutsu, and you're just maxing all your other units. That's all it is to it. There's not much I can even say. I'll only speak once the boss gets hard, so I'll only speak from the wave 30 boss onwards. Okay, now is where things start to get slightly difficult. What I'm doing at this point is just making sure I get all my Alucards down, making sure they get the 10% buff from Astolfo as well. And yeah, as you can see, they are placed in a way where they're instantly applying the bleed to the enemies as soon as they enter the Alucard's range. So that way we can get the wounded onto them permanently. There are going to be times where the slumber does get applied instead. The reason for this is because there's a bit of a gap between the spawn and my Alucard's initial range, so you want to make sure that Alucard's initial range, or the very first one, is placed way ahead, so he's not really leaving any gaps. And for this boss, we did apply the Astolfo Spear, but it's not really necessary because it's not really much HP. You can easily kill it off. But yeah, this boss is not hard at all. We can kill it off very easily. And you should keep doing your Uma stats. All that matters. Keep doing your Uma stats. And yeah, that's the final Alucard in terms of getting him the 10% range. So he has a lot of range. And yeah, all you have to really do is sell and replace your Naruto and ninjutsu him onto your Madara, and that's all you have to do for the whole time. It's not really hard at all, and it's just more tedious than actually doing it, you know what I mean? It's just very tedious. And you want to place Ichigo very at the enemy base. And just keep doing the ninjutsus. And yeah, wave 37, ideally you want to have your Uma maxed out. It could be wave 38, it could be wave 39, but ideally wave 37. And now you want to get into that ideal spot and just keep holding the M1s. Making sure that you ninjutsu onto using Kurama each time. And over here, I'm making sure that my Ichigo gets the 10% range. So I place my Astolfo right there. Gives Ichigo the extra 10% range, and that's all that matters. I do have a lot of fumbles in this run. You'll see what I mean. Towards the end, I do miss out on a lot of M1s, so it doesn't mean I lose out on a lot of kills. But yeah, the main part of this strat is pretty much the same as trailers. And you have to focus for this boss because it does have 1 billion HP. So 1.1 billion. Is that 1.1? Yeah, 1.1 billion. So we're saving our Astolfo Spear until he's clear it ahead. And I use one more ninjutsu and then I use a Astolfo Spear. So I hit the boss as he gets here. And as you can see, he does get hit by the spear. And now what we're going to do is just follow him with our Kurama. Just to make sure we're getting enough damage to kill him off. And we'll just keep hitting him non-stop. We don't have to go too close because Kurama's range is very OP. So we're just gonna focus on killing him. And yeah, since I get him very low at... Oh man, his crazy voice crack. I'm so tired. But since I got him very low, I can just let Uma deal with him. And here I want to be making sure I deal with these guys. So I position myself in a way where he can hit the left enemies plus the right enemies and a good chunk of them. And yeah, as you can see, I'm doing the same consistent thing non-stop at all times. I'm not going to be worrying about the enemies that are leaking right now because the main focus is just to make sure we're dealing damage to all the enemies, because if we go to focus these enemies that are weak, it does mess up the run, because it means these enemies in front of me are not really getting damaged at all. And pretty much what you're going to be doing is staying in this same spot at all times. That's the ideal run. You don't want to move too much because you want to make sure you're killing these enemies off. And yeah, as you can see, this boss is very fast, so we're not going to be really using our spear on him. He's very irrelevant. Keep using your ninjutsu, and ideally you want to be not focusing on these enemies because you want the boss to be at the front. But I wasted my swings on these enemies and had to focus them. So you're going to be focusing on the enemies closest to you. And at this point, once the boss gets very close, you use Ichigo's nuke, making sure the little fire icon is turned off. And you use 3 stocks to pull him back. And you focus your ninjutsu again. Just getting as much damage as you can on these enemies. You want to make sure that the only enemy you die to is the boss. And now, ideally, this is the part I messed up. I didn't really get into my ideal spot, and I did waste a lot of swings. So I probably wasted like 4 swings right there. That's a lot of extra kills. So that's just my bad. I used the spear at this point right here. And that's a lot of enemies. So I turn auto skip waves off, and I make sure to use Madara nuke after I click yes. So I click yes, and I use Madara's nuke. And that's it for the strat. I'll see you next one. Peace. Like, subscribe.